people out of my county because I don't need individuals coming into Yuma County creating a problem that doesn't exist.
The Yuma County Sheriff is sounding off after an announcement by Governor Katie Hobbs. The creation of Operation Desert Guardian, a joint task force between state and local law enforcement to combat cartels, is catching him by surprise.
12 News journalist Sean Rice has more on why Sheriff Leon Wilmot is expressing this concern here. Hey, Sean.
Yeah, Troy and Kirby, it appears there's some sort of miscommunication here. We're still trying to get to the bottom of why exactly that is. But the creation of that task force came via an executive order today signed by Governor Katie Hobbs. Hobbs is quoted as saying she's been in contact with county sheriffs about creating the task force and has sought ways to keep criminals and drugs out of Arizona's communities. But today, Yuma County Sheriff Leon Wilmot says today's announcement certainly came as a surprise to him, and he worries the task force, it won't be productive. Now, Hobbs says that task force will include resources from the Arizona Department of Public Safety, Arizona Homeland Security, and the Office of Emergency Management. Their goals are to secure vulnerabilities along our southern border, combat border-related crimes, and shut down the cartel supply chains and their operating networks. But Sheriff Wilmot describes the border crossings in Yuma County in the last month as, quote, non-existent. He described it as like the faucet has been turned off when it comes to illegal immigrant crossings. He added that his office and other border sheriffs already have drug task force in place at the local level, and he feels like the $28 million that will be devoted to this task force could be better suited elsewhere.
Waste taxpayer money on building something that doesn't need to be rebuilt. We already have that infrastructure. Put those DPS officers in with the local task forces that are already there, and they're multi-agency already, and let's tackle this together.
Now, you may remember that former Governor Doug Ducey created what's called the Border Strike Force during his administration with a similar purpose. It was to utilize DPS to help tackle border-related crimes. Wilmot tells me he worries today's executive order does the exact same thing and worries it won't help alleviate the cartel's influence right here on American soil. Now, today I reached out to Hobbs' office to see if she was available to speak on exactly why she feels the executive order was necessary and how these objectives would be achieved. Today I was told she was not available. I then asked why a border sheriff apparently wasn't consulted before today's announcement, and that's a question we're still waiting on a response to this evening. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and I do think it's interesting, Sean. We don't hear this very often. Somebody down there on the border saying, we don't need more resources? You don't hear that very often.
Yeah, certainly don't caught me as a surprise today. I think it's just because of those Trump-era executive orders he spoke to. And he said a lot of those have done a really good job in terms of preventing some of those illegal migrant crossings. It's not just Yuma County. He said he's consulting with Cochise County Sheriff Mark Daniels as well. He was surprised by this announcement, says he hasn't been consulted either, but says the migrant crossings there are down significantly as well, which is good news.
Yeah. All right, Sean, thank you.
Something to watch going forward for sure. And for continuing border coverage, make sure to download 12 Plus and click on the Border Impact tab for more immigration stories affecting our state.